Hello, everybody. I decided to come on here live today to give you guys an update on my progress of taking Sublocade. Sublocade is a shot used for an addiction and treatment process. It is what they call MAT, medication assisted therapy. And when people get hooked on a drug, whatever their drug of choice is, regardless if it's heroin, opioids, pills like Percocet, fentanyl, Vicodin, or alcohol, it becomes a very bad situation. A lot of people cannot cope with it. So they instantly become an addict. Now, let me just explain my story real quick. So, probably, what was it, 2001? 2001 is when I first got hooked to a prescribed medication, Percocet. It was prescribed to me by a licensed physician, and it was due to an injury that I sustained on my back. I had herniated my disc on my L5S1 area, and they felt that surgery would not be an option. So they had to treat my back with pain medication. So here they are giving me 180 tablets of Percocet. Now, to a drug addict, that is like the best thing in the world, right? But they gave me this drug, and I continuously had to take it. Um, Eventually, my body got used to the medication. I think I started to get so used to it that I couldn't even tell that I was taking the medication. A lot of times, the pain would be unbearable. And so, I would be like, oh my God, I got to take another pill. Well, my body started getting used to the drugs, to the Percocet. And, that made me in turn have to, take an extra dose. And that's what I did. I took an extra dose. Um, and so when I took this extra dose, I would take, 5 milligrams Percocet, take another 5 milligrams Percocet. And then, that's what I did. I kept taking, at that time, I was taking 10 milligrams. Eventually that wouldn't work, and I would have to go up to 15 milligrams, then 20 milligrams. And then, eventually it just becomes a vicious cycle of having to induce more and more medication of the drug. Now, this is the same that goes for all drugs like heroin, any of these opioids. And so people get hooked on it because their body is adjusted to it. So in order for the body to function properly on a normal basis, it has to have that drug in their system. So with that said, I'm glad I never got to heroin. I really am. I had opportunities for it. I had friends of mine that would try to get me to come over to their house, and they're like, "Ooh, if you just try it once, you're gonna love it. It will make you feel so good. You will have no aches or pains, and it will work about as good or better than like morphine or Dilaudid in a shot in a hospital." But I didn't do it. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't subject myself to doing a shot of, you know, heroin or whatever. Nowadays, that you don't know if they put fentanyl in this stuff or, and fentanyl is some powerful shit. There are people that take fentanyl and they take a high dose of that stuff, man, and I don't know how they do it. Only because even at a low dose of fentanyl, just touching it, people get sick, and it's like, what the hell are you doing to your body? Everybody wants to try the fentanyl stuff. They want to put the stuff in their system, and I just don't believe in that stuff. I don't believe in putting myself through that agony of pain, and I knew if I got to those drugs, it would be over for me. But since 2001, every day I had to figure out how I was going to take Percocet, Vicodin, pain medication, and my doctors would continuously refer me to another pain management doctor, to another doctor, to another doctor. They would go from one to the other to the other. It was weird. It was really weird. And they don't care. They truly don't care. I think there's pain management doctors, and if you're a pain management doctor, don't take this the wrong way, but a lot of pain management doctors are there to get you on the drug. That's how you feel. They do want to help you. I believe a lot of them do help you. But then again, there's those who are greedy enough to keep prescribing more and more and more drugs. And the higher and higher the dose is, the more dangerous it is for people. So, but I think that's what they do. They start you out on a low dose of, the drug itself, and then they end up giving you higher and higher milligrams of the dose. So, that's what I think. And they know you have to come off of it, right? Because eventually you're going to have to come off that drug. In your life somewhere, you're going to have to come off that drug. And as to the person taking the drug, you start freaking out when you hear the words, "We may have to discontinue, or we have to take you off the drug. We have to take you off your medication. We need to do an alternative route, alternative source of treatment programs." To me, that is dangerous. Dangerous, right? Because once they start taking you off, they don't wean you off. They just forcefully just take you off of the drug, and then you're like stuck to that situation. It's really weird, But yeah, it's really crazy. It really is. There's a lot to it. And people need to realize that there's a situation where people do get sick and where they have that drug. So I think that there's going to be a scenario to where People are going to get addicted more and more and more each and every day to Percocet, Vicodin, heroin, fentanyl. For some god reason, fentanyl is like the drug of choice today. It's scary. It really is. And I think it's because it's an easy high. It really is. I mean, that stuff is so potent that if somebody touches it with their bare hand, it absorbs in their system within a matter of seconds. I mean, that's dangerous shit right there. There have been police officers that search vehicles or a person, and their hands get on the drug, and all of a sudden, they're fucking sick. It's a nightmare, guys. It really is. But the drug epidemic is really bad. And I think it's funny because everybody wants to blame, or I should say, a lot of like Republicans want to blame the drug crisis to fentanyl coming across the border in Mexico. But honestly, I don't believe that. I believe it's coming from regular Americans that live here in the United States. They go down, they get the stuff, they bring it back. They're called drug mules. A lot of this is being shipped across seas via the post office. So, I don't know, man. I really don't know. But I still feel like I just feel like there's a lot that can be done. Hang on a second, I'm putting some up here. I'm putting some up there. So, Sublocade is it's a medication that's used to get people off of opioids. And let me just kind of explain to you what this does. So, a lot of people are familiar with when you are coming off of opioids, they put you on a medication to help you get off the medication, off the drug. So yeah, it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't situation where, yeah, they have to give you a drug to get you off of a drug, but this drug is maintained a little differently because it keeps you from overdosing. And what that means is, Suboxone is the first drug they put you on. Suboxone is buprenorphine, and buprenorphine is the medication that is a narcotic that is used to get people off of opioids. So the Suboxone has buprenorphine, and then it also has something else in it, which is called naloxone. Naloxone is basically the same thing as Narcan. It is what gets people off of a drug. It takes the drug out of your system. So when they give you Suboxone, it's usually sublingual, it goes under the tongue. It absorbs under the tongue. And Usually when you start treatment at a lot of facilities, they'll start you off by starting you out at the lowest dose and then moving up. And then they figure out what dose works best for you. That is usually your induction program, the beginning. And, so that's something that you may go through if you're getting treatment at a treatment facility. But anyway, when they put you on Suboxone, it does help. It helps with the urges and cravings that you have with wanting to take the drug itself, going back to the drug. Because a lot of people, what happens is that we get the drug in our system, and then we start to feel good. And then once the drug gets out of our system, then we go through withdrawal. And then here we go, the aches, the pains, the sicknesses. It begins. So yeah, I mean that's usually how it works. Some people can do it cold turkey, and I don't recommend anybody doing it cold turkey. You don't have to, because it just sucks. Alcohol withdrawal, by the way, I have heard. Don't quote me on this because I don't know, but I've heard alcohol addiction is very bad, and if you're coming off of that those withdrawals can be very dangerous. They can be very lethal as well. So it's always important to talk to a facilitator or a medical professional for that. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend unless you talk to somebody. There's a lot of programs out there you can talk to that can help you. And if you feel like medical medication assisted treatment is good for you, then that's what you want to do. Some people don't want to get back on the drug. They're like, I don't want to take no narcotic. I want to get off of this. So I just want to quit cold turkey. If you can, good for you. I know I can't. But once you get on Suboxone, Suboxone will help you as a pill form. Usually what happens is you can be on 2 milligrams of Suboxone all the way up to 24, or 30 milligrams, I think, is the maximum. But you can go pretty high with that stuff. I was only on 8 milligrams of Suboxone. And I had it bad, man. If I did not have any kind of opioid drug in my system, I would get sick. I would get very lethargic, very tired, because with the drug, I have a pareidolia effect. They call it pareidolia. It's where it's the opposite of what it's supposed to do. For example, Percocet, Vicodin, those type of drugs made me very speedy, like it speed me up, as opposed to a normal person, it'd put them out and make them fall asleep. So, but I didn't feel like that. I felt like Speedy Gonzalez under Percocet and Vicodin. The main thing you want to do is if you get on this shot, it does help. Now the shot is called Sublocade. Sublocade is basically buprenorphine. It does not have naloxone in it, just strict buprenorphine. And what it does is the buprenorphine it will time release in your system. And so when the time releases in your system, you could start out during the day and get 1 milligram, and then all of a sudden, it pushes another 2 milligrams every couple hours. That's usually what it does. But eventually, you're going to be leveled out from day one. You'll be leveled out every single hour. You won't have that ups and downs like you do with Suboxone, because you take the milligrams all at once, and so the milligrams are working through your body, and it eventually exits your body. With Sublocade, it is once again a shot. It goes in the abdomen. It has to be done by a nurse, a licensed nurse, who is certified in giving you the shot. Now, a lot of people say, does it hurt? Does the shot hurt? It's a great question. It really is. I will tell you this. First and foremost, it will burn. Now, it feels like a really strong bee sting, and it burns. However, make sure you talk to the place you're going to get the shot from, and tell them you want an ice pack. Apply the ice pack on your stomach where the shot's going to go in. Wherever they're going to inject it, put the ice pack there, and place the ice pack there for like 15 minutes. Then let them do the shot, and then use the ice pack after the shot. I'm telling you, it will help out tremendously doing it that way. The ice packs do help. They really do help. So get an ice pack and put it on there and wait 15 to 20 minutes. Even if you put the ice pack on, just cover your whole stomach area where the navel area is. Wherever your belly button is, cover all the way around it. They're not going to shoot it in the belly button, by the way. It's going to go on the outside of it, in the muscle. But yes, my first injection did not hurt at all. Second injection, I felt it. Third injection, I felt it a little bit. Fourth injection, a little bit. Fifth injection, I felt it. So you want to make sure that you ask for ice. I'm not going to lie to you. So that gives you an idea of how it's going to feel. Get ice. Don't be scared of the shot because it's going to burn. Don't let that give you negativity to where you're like, oh no, I'm not going to do it. Don't let that tell you that. Don't let it do it. When the shot is done, it will form a hard marble under your skin. So you'll feel a little marble, a little hard mass under your skin. That's the medicine, and that's where it is absorbing, or that's where it's trying to release into your system. It's a hard ball of medicine. But I recommend, man, if you want to get off of Suboxone, if you want to get off the habit of taking a pill by mouth every day, then get on Sublocade, because it does work. I've been on it for 6 months now. I have not had one craving, no withdrawals. As a matter of fact, last month, I went 4 days past the time I was supposed to get my shot. I went 4 days past that, still had no withdrawals. I was okay until I got my shot. So what I'm trying to tell you is that the shot will last for a long time. As a matter of fact, it will last up to 90 days after you're supposed to get the shot. 90 days after you're supposed to get that shot. So, because they'll put you on a schedule of getting a shot every month. It is once a month, and you don't have to sit there and worry about getting getting it every week or whatever. You don't have to worry about getting your prescriptions every week. You get the shot, you're good to go. And I recommend this for anybody. If you are hardcore into doing drugs, if you're hardcore in taking opioids, I would recommend you try it. If you don't like it, you can always go back to Suboxone and make sure you talk to your doctors and medical staff about that. Some of the side effects you may experience under Sublocade, you may feel tired, you may feel extreme tiredness. That is normal. I did have some tiredness to where I felt very lethargic. So, that is normal. You may experience that for the first couple months. I know it sounds scary, but don't freak out. It's not that bad. Another thing is that you can take, some people get headaches off of it. Some people get a rush off of it. But the only thing I had was the tiredness. So that's the only thing I can report, is that I felt tired. I felt like the first week I felt really good. The second week I started feeling a little tired. Third week I felt a little bit more tired. And then the fifth week I started really getting tired. And then I got my second shot. And then I started feeling really good. And I stayed feeling good for a long time. Every once in a while I do get tired still. But again, no withdrawals, no cravings, no urges, no theory in my mind of taking a pill. I don't even think about that. And I hope that you try Sublocade, because I think it'll change your life. It will. It doesn't matter how hard of a drug you're on. Just try it and see if it works for you. That's all I can say. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I'm not a psychiatrist. So I can't give you any pointers on this, but I can only give you what I've experienced, and that's what I experienced. So if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to email me, jerrywilliamslive@gmail.com. Join me under Facebook. And I'll definitely answer your questions. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is a live show. I decided to come on here live and give you an update. This is my 6th month, and I'm still doing good, guys. Sublocade has saved my life. It saved my life. I feel normal. I feel totally normal. I feel like I'm 100% again. I feel like I did before I started taking the drugs. And that's all I can say. So thank you, guys. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Remember, you don't have to do drugs or alcohol. You just don't need it. It's not going to help you. The only thing it's going to do is poison your body. So let's get off of it. Let's work together. Let's be strong. And let's stop addiction.